Hey there, my friends. Kevin Steinman here, coming at you with episode number 8. July 10th is the date, and I got some really exciting news for you guys in the crypto space. Just 6 things I want to go over, and then I actually want to jump into some charts because I'm looking at BTC USD today, and it is very interesting. So first things first, Google co-founder Sergey Brin has actually informed the public that he is an Ethereum miner himself. And it's interesting because just last week I was talking about how the general manager for the Bank of International Settlements was basically saying something like, you know, crypto isn't going anywhere and the government's going to put the hammer down. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, you know, I'm sure people in the government use Google every day. And if one of the co-founders of Google is getting into crypto and he has been mining Ethereum with his 10-year-old son as their side hustle for a while, chances are it's not going to go anywhere. And if it does, it's going to go up. So that's pretty cool. You know, he was actually quoted saying that cryptocurrencies, which have spread public key cryptography across the web and created consensus algorithms such as proof of work, POW, are mind-boggling, naturally so and understandably so, but the crypto global network itself, if taken seriously, is quite extraordinary. And I feel the same way, as a matter of fact. But, you know, from his perspective, he was quoted again to say that I see the future as taking these, what many people call researchy type ideas, and making them real, bringing them to fruition. Because in reality, and this was actually from the CEO of Binance, said this in an interview yesterday, that the difference between an internet company and a blockchain company is quite significant in terms of how much capital they're able to raise and the type of impact that they're able to have. So it's the first thing I want to go over with you guys. Next thing is Ledger Wallet, popular for their Ledger Nano S, has actually received another offer for funding, and this is pretty cool because it's actually placing their valuation at around $1 billion. As far as who is interested, I'll go ahead and tell you guys, people like Samsung, Google, General Ventures, and Siemens. And this again is just showing you how much venture capital dollars are going into crypto and blockchain companies. And that's the beauty of it all, that, you know, who are you guys going to believe? The bank, who is afraid to lose all their customers and their power to control people's money, or the venture capitalists who are seeing the opportunities for what they are and actually looking to make money off of the fact because they see this huge trend and huge shift happening? I think it's probably the latter, but you decide for yourself. In any event, another venture capital firm, Lightspeed Ventures, is raising a new fund, and they actually have $1.8 billion in this new fund, and they plan to invest in crypto with part of it. So another big plus for the crypto space. Bancor, as I actually had discussed earlier this week, was hacked for about $23 million, and they're urging people to collaborate together to prevent this from happening again in the future. But what was interesting is a quote from Charlie Lee, who is the creator of Litecoin. He went on to say that a banker wallet got hacked, and the wallet has the ability to steal coins out of their smart contracts. An exchange is not decentralized if it can lose customer funds, or if it can freeze customer funds. Bancor can do both. It's a false sense of decentralization. So in any event, that's just one person's opinion, but granted, he's the founder and creator of Litecoin. I think it has its weight. The other interesting thing that I thought was that Bancor, with their BNT tokens, they were able to go and execute a protocol for these types of things when they happen, where in extreme conditions they're able to recover from a security breach and prevent certain things from happening. So they may have had a $23.5 million hack occur, but in terms of the funds that they were able to limit the damage to, it was only about 13.5 million. So still a lot of money, needless to say, but that's cool that they were able to go and mitigate the risk from getting even greater and losing a lot more money from people that have their accounts with Bancor and so forth. Last thing, not really, the fourth thing is trading actually today opened today on Huobi's new US-based strategic partner, HBUS, and I went over this on July 6th, which of course was just 4 days ago last week. So if you guys are interested in trading in the US and you're familiar with Huobi, they're the fourth largest crypto exchange, doing about 100 million in exchanging every day, I would look into them. The website is hbus.com. Next thing is, you know, even though the crypto markets are seeing red with the market cap down about $15 billion, I mean, I think that July is going to be a very interesting month, especially in the next 2 weeks, to see where the price levels go, and actually go over this in a chart analysis at the end of this video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But needless to say, if you are someone who plans on holding for the long term, this shouldn't really concern you unless you plan to buy when the price dips down. I'm looking at the 5,800 level myself. So in any event, the last thing I want to cover of this news today for you guys is yesterday, Mu was hacked. And if you guys aren't familiar with Mu, it's actually My Ether wallet. And My Ether wallet, about 50 million people who use the Chrome extension called Ola, it's a free VPN, virtual private network, was exposed to have people who use Mu in conjunction with Ola had their accounts affected. And Ola, the plugin themselves, this was going on for a period of about 5 hours. Mu has confirmed that anyone who does not have the Ola plugin installed or has never used it has no reason to be concerned, as they actually never store your data to begin with, your passwords and your private keys and all that stuff. It's up to you to save that information, write it down, take a screenshot, do all that stuff, but make sure you're protected and that you always have 2FA on, two-factor authentication, because if you don't, someone might just freaking hack your ass, and that's the last thing you want. So I'm gonna jump into the charts, you guys. Just taking a look at the daily chart with BTC USD. As you know from some of my previous episodes, if you've seen them, we were previously looking to see if Bitcoin would close above the 7,000 level, which is this white line right here. This is on the daily chart. And the reason I have these blue lines here is just to indicate when the prices actually dip down into this 5,800 level, or you could say 5,700 even, but it's closer to 5,800. So I have this point here I'm going to mark, and then another point that happened recently, and this point is another area of interest to me as well. But if we look on the H4 chart, we can see that what we're seeing here is actually very indicative of where price is headed. So this is at 7,000 level, where I was hoping to see if the bullish trend was going to start, that Bitcoin would actually close above this level. But as we can see here, essentially it's beginning to dip back down, and this here again is on the H4 chart. So each one of these candles represents 4 hours in time period. So if we go over to the utmost right part of the screen, we can see here that Bitcoin has historically continued to move down towards these different levels after it's closed beneath the 50 moving average. And this candle in particular, which happened maybe 4, 8, 12, 16, about 20 hours ago or yesterday, was indicative of just that. So this red candle here recently closed yesterday beneath the 50 estimated moving average. And now I'm actually expecting price to go down to this 5,800 level. In order for it to come back, it would actually mean that Bitcoin would have to close above the 50 estimated moving average. And I would say that it would actually need to close above the 6,600 level right here if it was going to actually, let's say, turn around and start heading back up. But in the event that it does not and it continues to remain bearish, I'm looking for the price to go down to this 5,800 level. And again, if we look at the H1 further, just to look at it on a lower time frame, we can see that basically the price previously had been going up in these bursts, where typically when market movers are entering the market and either selling or buying large order blocks, this is what happens. And it's because they're buying in such a large amount that this happens. Normally, when everyone is trading as usual, the volume that's represented is around this range here, around this range here, and so forth. But we can see here that this level here has actually been touched a few times where price has gone into it, but it has never gone above. And again, that's very close to the 7,000 level. But you can see here that since June 17th, it has hit this level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And now you can see that price is starting to come back down. So at the same time, in that same period, price has hit this 5,800 level about 1, 2, 3, 4, and it might actually hit it a couple more times before it starts coming back up.
Without even trying, how do they do this? Is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure,